Good morning, everyone. I am Jill Bollwerk.
And I'm Andy Pichler.
And we are the attorneys at Bollwerk and Associates, a personal injury law firm here in St. Louis, Missouri. And welcome to episode number 2 of Coffee with the Counselors. And today, we thought it would be fun to kind of show you the mugs we drink out of in the morning, because I like to drink out of silly mugs. And today, my Monday mug is, per my last email, since you can't read, you other attorneys know what I'm talking about. And I'm sure just about everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Probably.
Anyway, that's our little Monday humor. What are we talking about here today that is useful information?
Today we're going to talk about hit and runs. And if you are the victim of a hit and run, what should you do?
Yeah, there's nothing worse than someone hitting you and then leaving the scene and you're like, wait a minute, what just happened to me? We get those calls frequently. And Andy, what kind of advice do we give to people that say that they were just in an accident where someone ran away?
Well, if somebody calls and says that they were involved in a hit and run, the first thing that I want to know is, did anybody witness the event that could confirm your side of things and say, yeah, this is what happened? Also ask them, is there any evidence that you found at the scene? Or are there any maybe businesses nearby or street cams that could have caught the accident and shown that you were in fact the victim of a hit and run?
And when you talk about evidence, it's kind of interesting. I had a case once where the evidence was the other driver's license plate fell off his car. Perfect evidence. In that case, we were able to locate the driver because we had his license plate. But most of the time, they often get away. Most of the time, they get away. So what's the second thing we tell our clients to do, or our prospective clients to do when they call?
Call the police. Make sure that an officer comes out and gets a report and your statement and the statement of any witnesses too that could say, yeah, this is what happened.
Yeah, because at this point, if there's no other driver to make a claim against, who do we contact?
The insurance.
And whose insurance company?
Your insurance company.
Yeah.
Make sure that you file a claim right away, because that's going to be important, especially if you were injured.
Yeah. So when you have a crash like this, there's 2 types of coverage that can come into play. The first one is collision coverage, and that is coverage for the damage to your vehicle. Now, unfortunately, if you have what they call liability only and you didn't purchase collision coverage, you're going to be out of luck on your property damage if you can't identify the other driver. That's the bad news. But the good news is, if you're injured, then you definitely have uninsured motorist coverage for your injuries, because that's on every policy in Missouri. It's a mandatory coverage. So, Andy, what happens when you file an uninsured motorist claim with your own carrier?
So at that point, your own carrier essentially steps into the shoes of the other driver that left the scene.
Okay, and they defend it as if they're defending the other driver.
Correct.
Okay. And so it's really important when you have a hit and run that you contact the police, that you look for evidence, and that you contact your insurance company right away, because these kinds of cases can be hard fought by your own insurance company. And you want to make sure that you have done everything to try to find out who the other driver is, because you might get lucky and you might find out.
Yeah.
So anyway, I hope that was helpful. We thought we were going to be talking about firecracker and firework injuries today, because our last episode was on the 3rd of July, but fortunately we did not get any of those phone calls.
Yeah, happy to not receive those calls.
Yeah, so I guess people were safe this year, which is great. So anyway, thanks for joining us. If you have an idea for a topic for a future episode, we would love to hear it. Go ahead and put it in the comments, and we will see you next time with a cup of coffee in our hands.
That's right. Until next week.
Bye.